Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. This week, we made sure that we had our microphones on, so hopefully you can hear this. Today, we're going to be talking about the compounding effects of daily actions. So every single day, you have the choice whether or not you're going to make good actions that are going to lead you towards your goals, or you can do stuff that's going to lead you away from your goals. And we want to dig into those and tell you how over time they compound, and that is ultimately what leads you to either your best life or quite possibly your worst life, and leading you to where you don't really want to end up long term. So just by simple daily action steps literally dictate your entire life and your future. So that's what we want to kind of dig into. Bethany has a great analogy and way of explaining how daily actions can determine just how you feel, your energy, your health, and the direction and course of your life that it's going in. So go ahead, Bethany.
The idea from this stemmed from, it's a picture that I saw a long time ago, but it sprung to mind. We've been talking about, our daily habits and everything like that for a long time. And it's really cool because it starts off with just one line, and that's your first choice or your first action of the day. And you can either make the good choice or you can make the bad choice, where it splits off into two different branches. And so that first action of the day pretty much determines a little bit of the course of the rest of the day, whether it's a good or a bad day. So it kind of feeds into the rest of your choices, how you start that first choice you make. So whether that's hitting snooze or it's actually getting up when your alarm goes off. And then it branches off from there. So if you made the good choice, right, there's another choice that you got to make during the day. That could be eating breakfast, making breakfast, or like getting it from fast food, right? So you can make the bad choice or the good choice. And it keeps branching off the more choices you make throughout the day. And we know that we make a lot of choices throughout the day. So what happens is you can grow. The more good choices that you make, you end up having a way better day. And then the more bad choices you make, you end up having a worse day. And what it comes down to is the more good choices you have, like more good choices to bad choices, that's going to determine if you had a good choice or a good day, productive day. And then if you had more bad choices than good, you end up having a good or a bad day. And then it kind of spirals into the next one too, right? So you can build off of that good day, and you can have another good day and another, and it keeps branching off until, weeks, months, years down, you've almost basically became a different person through just like little choices every day. Kind of builds up to that, just kind of like how a tree comes up from the ground. Like it starts really small and it just branches out a little bit by little bit, and then all of a sudden, after a while, you kind of look back and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's grown into this whole different thing. It started out just this big and now it's a tree, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing with like your habits and your just like your daily actions, pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, to speak specifically like towards working out, I think like say you make the choice to skip your workout for the day. Last week we kind of talked about like the benefits of working out and eating healthy. Well, if you skip your workout, you're literally missing out on all those benefits. So we talked about like having energy, having more focus, mental clarity, being happier, not having as much anxiety and depression. So I think like if you skip your workout, even just one day, like you will notice you won't have as much energy. You might be in a worse, more poor mood, and you might kind of like go home and take that out on friends and family. Like if you just are tired and have had a bad day, like you are probably not going to be the nicest towards your spouse or parents or siblings or kids or whatever. And then also just like not having enough energy to play with your kids or talk to your spouse at the end of the day or whatever it is. And that's literally just like one day. So if you think about continuing to make that decision every single day to not work out and to skip workouts and make poor choices in your eating, like there's just going to be this snowball effect of continuing to go down the wrong path and just being in a negative mindset all the time.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Like skipping your workout could be a bad choice. And then she mentioned like you go home and you have a lot less energy. You might be a little bit more stressed out. Like your work day wasn't as productive. You didn't have the energy and focus that you normally have. So then you make more bad choices because of that one bad choice. And that's kind of what Bethany was trying to explain with the branching off of choices, is once you make one bad choice, typically that's going to lead to more bad choices. And then it just kind of grows on that. And the ultimate thing about this is if you keep doing those bad choices day after day after day, they become a natural occurring habit of yours. So we talk a lot about developing healthy habits, but what we don't talk about is everybody doesn't, like, you don't even realize it, but every single day you do a ton of things on like autopilot. You don't even know that you do them. And because you've done them for so much time, you don't realize that you do all these bad habits every day. And things like hitting snooze and not making your bed and not making breakfast and going and grabbing and just chugging, 2 or 3 cups of coffee to get you going, to start your day without drinking water. Like, all those are kind of bad choices or bad habits that are not going to get you to where you want to be in life. So to start kind of reversing that, let's make some decisions that are going to get us to have a good day. So you wake up and you don't hit snooze. That's a good decision. So you're going in the right direction. After you get up out of bed and you brush your teeth, you get ready. Before you go and grab that coffee, you're going to drink a little bit of water. You're going to have 8 to 12 ounces of water before you have your coffee to get hydrated. That's another good decision before you have your coffee. At the same time, you're going to get your gym bag packed up and take it with you to work. That way, your workout clothes are ready to go and you're going to go to the gym after work. That's another good decision. So you keep building and building and building, and you can get into the middle of the day and make a bad choice. Oh, somebody brings in a donut at lunchtime. You have one donut. You're still not going to have a bad day because you made so many good decisions before that. You can make that one bad decision, and then you can get right back into good decisions after that. Okay, don't think that you ruined your day just because you had one bad decision. As long as you're making the majority of your decisions good, like she said, as long as more than half of your daily actions and decisions are good decisions, you're still going to have a great day. You can still go get your workout in. You're still eating your healthy meals, but you had that one donut. You can still enjoy your day and have a good day. So that's how I like to think of it as long as you're doing good daily actions and practicing those healthier habits, it's okay if you have 1 or 2 bad slip-ups. It's not going to derail your results. And I think a lot of people, the reason that they fail with extreme diet plans, like fad diets, like keto and low carb, whatever it is, they go from 0 to 100. They think that they can't make a single bad decision. If they stray away at all, they have failed. And that's not the way life works. You're going to have good days and bad days. You're going to have good choices and bad choices. All we're trying to get you guys to realize is, as long as 50% or more of those choices are good and steering you toward your goals, you're going to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you kind of touched on this before we started talking, was the object in motion stays in motion, object at rest stays at rest. So the same thing with like your good choices, right? You're going to stay in motion, you're going to keep on those good choices once you kind of get going. So that first action of the day is actually really crucial. So if you do have an alarm, like hitting snooze, it kind of, like you said, like snowballs into some bad effects because you sleep in a little bit later. You also don't feel as good when you wake up because that sleep that you just woke up from, like that 15 minutes, you got just into that sleep cycle where you wake up groggy. So it really didn't even help you at all getting that extra 15 minutes of sleep. And then you're running late for work, can't make your breakfast, and then it just kind of snowballs. That motion of, that momentum of bad habits kind of keeps going throughout your day. And then same thing for just like kind of just making the good choices. If you get home from work and you get ready to go to the gym, and then you get done with the gym, you're all excited, you go home, you make dinner, you clean, everything like that. Well, if you get done from work, you skip your workout, you don't make dinner, you get fast food, what do? You sit on the couch the rest of the night. So that's the same thing with the object in rest stays at rest. So I've noticed that specifically of like, if I just keep moving, I'm good. If I start to, sit down or relax too much, I get tired and I want to take a nap in the afternoon specifically. So that's kind of my big tip is like, if you have stuff to do, just kind of keep moving and just keep doing something productive, and then you'll have a way more productive day.
Yeah. I really like what Taylor said about like, just because you make one bad choice or decision, whether that's eating the donut or skipping your workout. I think we see that a lot in people who, they'll start coming to the gym and eating healthy, and then, they ate bad over the weekend or whatever it was. And so they just think that they've totally failed. And so they just want to completely give up, where that is just like, that's not what you should do at all. I mean, we all deserve to have pizza every once in a while, or a donut every once in a while, or enjoy your life. And that does not mean that you've failed. Like, yeah, you kind of maybe made the bad decision, but you still have a lot of other chances to make the good decision. So I think that's just something that I just wanted to emphasize. Like, don't let one bad choice or even a whole weekend of bad choices stop you from coming to the gym and getting your workouts in and trying to better yourself.
Yeah, and I would also like to kind of attach that to different times of the year when you're like busy and less busy. So something that we run into a lot is during the summertime, a very large portion of our clients leave the gym. So they want to go outside and do things and enjoy the summer, enjoy the sunshine, which is all great things. Getting outside is obviously a really good, healthy habit, but they stopped doing a bunch of the habits that they were doing, like going to the gym and like eating better and meal planning and stuff like that. So something that we really stress with our clients is as long as you're on track about 70 or 80% of the time, you're going to get really good results. And I like to think of the intensity level of how much effort you're putting in on a dial from 1 to 10. So during the winter months, for example, you might dial it up to a 8, 9, or 10. You're working out every single day, you're eating super clean, and you're doing really well. You're making a lot of good choices. But then summer comes around and you completely quit, and then might find yourself having a drink every day because it's nice out, it's hot, you get outside, you go to barbecues, you go camping, you have poor meals, things like that. You don't make it to the gym. So all of a sudden, all this work that you did for 9 months is just going way downhill, and you're creating all these bad habits again. What I would suggest is, like we said earlier, as long as 50% or more of your decisions are good habits, you're still going to maintain or make good results. So adjust your dial a little bit when times get tough or when summertime rolls around and you want to spend more time outside rather than in the gym. Instead of going from 5 to 0, go from 5 to 2, and maybe go for walks or bike rides outside, go hiking, whatever you like to do. That is still a good habit that is going to lead to other good habits, and it's still going to snowball. So I just wanted to add that on, is it's more of a percentage based thing. As long as, like we said, 50% or more, ideally we shoot for 70 to 80% of the time. You want to be making good choices and be on track with the plan that's going to get you to where you want to be. But there are going to be times in your life where it's harder than others. So in those times, just dial it back a little bit and do your best. And a good way to start your day, like Bethany mentioned, like if you hit snooze, that's a bad decision. And you're automatically telling yourself that you're not ready for the day. When you hit snooze, you're basically telling your brain, we're not ready to start this day. We're not motivated to do it. We want to stay in bed. And so that way, when you do get up, that's why you feel groggy. It takes a little while to get going, and you turn straight to the coffee to basically get you going for the day. So instead of doing that, I made a promise to myself years ago not to hit snooze. So a great thing to do is get up, don't hit snooze. And that's why making your bed is such a common thing and so popular to start your day, because it's a good habit that gets the snowball rolling. So you make your bed, that's one good habit. And then you're like, okay, what else could I accomplish this morning? Oh, I could go and drink my water and make a breakfast. So literally something super simple gets the ball rolling. And that's why making your bed is so popular, is because it's very simple to do. It takes you guys 2 seconds. Straighten out your blanket, put your pillows in order, and you accomplished a win for the day. And that will lead to more wins. And as long as you have more wins than losses, you're going to have a great day.
Yeah. And I want to make almost like the analogy of people who are just starting out working out. It's going to be harder for them to start doing this because you've never really done it before. So like for someone who has gone to the gym before, they've done diets before, they've already kind of like laid out the groundwork for it, but they just have to go back through it again, right? So they've had the habits before, they just kind of have to go back in and make those habits set in stone. So like for the snooze thing, for me, I'm at the point where I don't even think, oh, maybe I'm going to hit snooze today. Like that's not even an option. And I'm sure it's the same thing for you, is like, it's not even an option that comes across our head. But for someone who's starting out, maybe you do make a lot of bad choices, like hitting snooze and, drinking coffee right away, like 5 cups a day or something ridiculous. And then, not eating very healthy meals to take care of your body, just like little small choices, changing that is just going to help to, instead of having a really poor day, okay, maybe you just don't have such a bad day. Like maybe you just make a couple bad choices, right? And that's still growth. Even though you're making a couple bad choices, it's still better than making all bad choices. So I think it depends on where you're starting at. Like some people might just be maintaining, they might have like a good choice and a bad choice. That would be people in the summer, they're at like a 5 or a 6 instead of at a 9 or 10 for their intensity dial. So, they might just be evening out. Whereas, other people, when they have that time to really go hard, that's when they can make that growth. But other times, focusing on at least keeping it at maintenance, I think is really good, especially for just long-term results in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I like your point about like if you've never tried building new habits or working out, whatever it is, like, and I can remember specifically like water was like so hard for me to get in enough water during the day. And I feel like that just took a lot of, I don't know, practice and time, just like forcing myself, setting alarms, setting reminders to drink water throughout the day. And now, like, I'm pretty sure I don't even have to track my water, and I know that I'm drinking enough because it's just a habit to always have water with me, to constantly be sipping on it. I call it like my security, like my security blanket, my water bottle. Like I always have to have water with me or else I feel like I'm like missing something. So it's true. Like it's hard, but then one day, like you don't even think twice about it. You just always do it. You always have it with you. So I really like that you said that.
Yeah, that leads into what I wanted to talk about last, which is doing these little simple action steps long enough to where it's automatic. Yeah. So she mentioned she doesn't even have to think about drinking enough water anymore because she did it enough times to where it becomes automatic. If you can think about, waking up and brushing your teeth, like you don't have to sit there and think about every little brush. Like you do it naturally because you've done it so many times. You don't have to think about driving to work. Like you probably have gotten to work and you're like, I don't even remember driving here because it's just automatic. You know how to get there, the speed limit, you're probably lost in your music or thinking about things. And so once you do something long enough, it becomes automatic and it becomes part of your lifestyle. And that is our goal with all the healthy habits that we want to get people is, starting to work out, starting to drink more water, starting to wake up regularly without hitting snooze, starting to get better sleep, which starts with waking up without hitting snooze. All these things, as long as you do it for long enough time, it will become automatic to where you don't have to think about it, you don't have to stress about it. And that's when you can adopt a new habit. So starting really simple, like if you haven't done anything, maybe your main focus is just, I need to focus on drinking enough water. That's the only habit I'm going to do every single day is I'm going to make the good choice of trying to drink enough water until it becomes automatic. Then I can add in the next habit. So you don't have to start with all of these things if you're starting from scratch. You just need to start with one thing that you really want to get better at and then build off that, keep building up and growing from there. And my biggest recommendation is to try this for at least a year. Bethany said you could probably do it in 6 months, and I totally agree. But I think everybody should try their absolute hardest for 1 full year. And I literally think that if you do, more good habits and staying around that 70-80% for 1 full year, it will literally completely change the trajectory of your entire life. I can honestly say that. Because it started when I started working out, I just worked out and I didn't stop. And I worked out longer than all of my friends. And it goes to show I'm in better shape than probably all of my friends because I never gave up. So it just takes that 1 year to develop all those habits and kind of create the identity. So whatever you choose to do for a year, you created that identity. You can either be a healthy person or an unhealthy person. You can either be a great parent or a bad parent or whatever, a great employee or a bad employee. So you have to make those choices on a daily basis. That's what's going to dictate who you become long term.
I think that's a good one.
Okay. All right. We'll end there. Hopefully this helps you guys out and you can start thinking about the little daily actions that you can do to start becoming better. And actually, a great way is just before you make a decision, try to become conscious of yourself making it. So you might have the habit of grabbing a treat every single day at the same time naturally without thinking about it. Try to stop and think about, is this decision a good one or a bad one? Am I going to get closer to my goals or farther from my goals? And for a lot of people, it's lunchtime, they go get fast food. Think about it ahead of time. Am I going to get closer to my goals or further away? Who do I want to become a year from now? And make that decision right then and there every single day and keep building on it. So have an amazing day, everybody. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you can see all of our future videos and it helps us out. Until next time, stay healthy and have an awesome day. Bye.